welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and thank you for clicking on this video. Sorry I have been away for a while. I just didn't really know what to film and I wasn't exactly uninspired. I just didn't know what to do with my channel. So today we will be talking about what I read in July and also doing a little bit of a TBR for August on both books and manga. So I'm going to break it up between books and then do manga, so people who just want to listen to the books, and then if anyone just wants to listen to manga, I will just have them split up. So if you don't want to watch one part, you don't have to. So the first book I read, two books I read are on Kindle Unlimited, and I originally bought a Kindle on Amazon Prime Day, and then I returned it because I originally bought the 8GB one, and once they did like its software updates, it was at 5.6GB of storage left, and I decided then that I wanted the 32GB one, and then they no longer had that in stock, and they said it would take 5 months, but I'm into instant gratification, so I decided to just return it, and now I'm going to wait for Kindle Oasis to come out, because rumors have it that it's eventually going to come out this year. So I'm just going to hope that it comes out this year. Anyway, so the first book, sorry I'm looking down. I'm looking at a reading journal that I keep track of all the books I've read. So the first two books I read were King of Corium and Drop Dead Queen by C. Hallman, as well as J. L. Beck, who was in the second book. So basically it's about a girl that goes to a criminal university, and so anything is legal in the university except killing each other, so they can do whatever else they want. And her father was accused and was trying to frame another criminal, but then he got caught and got arrested, and so now everyone thinks this main character is a snitch. Oh, her name's Aspen. I definitely forgot her name. So, and the synopsis sounds a lot better than the actual books, to be honest. I did try to read the third one and I just couldn't get through it. So then the second book, or the third book, I'm just gonna say the books. Anyway, the other book I read this month was Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and this is the book. And I thought this was cute. It was about Nora, who's a literary agent, and she meets this editor who's super rude to her when they meet the first time, discussing some work at a lunch, and then eventually they meet each other again in Sunshine Falls because her sister wants her to go on a trip with her. And I liked the chemistry in this book. I just thought that some of the parts were kind of not annoying, just like it didn't make sense. Like, she talked a lot about her sister when it was supposed to be about Nora, which I guess makes sense because she was always with her sister or whatever. So the next book I read was Hooked. This is also on Kindle Unlimited. I will display pictures around here if I do not have the actual physical copy of the book. This is also on Kindle Unlimited. I will also try to include which ones are on Kindle Unlimited and which ones are not. And this is loosely based off of Neverland, and it's about a guy named James who is part of the mafia. He's a criminal, more or less, and he is trying to make people pay for his father's death, like the people that were responsible for his father's death. And so then he meets a woman, or a girl, named Wendy, and her father did something to his parents, or to his father at least, and so he will take revenge on his daughter and, like, you know, use her against her father, if that makes sense. And I thought this book was I really enjoyed his accent, so that's probably why I rated it 3 stars. Everything else was kind of bad about this book. So the next book I read was Electric Idol by Katie Robert. And this book follows Psyche and the son of Aphrodite, Demetriou. And it talks about how Aphrodite tells him that he has to kill Psyche, But then he decides that instead of having him kill her or take her heart, that he will make her marry him, and it just follows that information, or that story at least. I really enjoyed this book. I gave this a 4.5 stars. I really liked how sassy Psyche was, and I just felt the chemistry in this book. I also read the first book in the series, Neon Gods, last month before, so in June. So I was just continuing on in the series. The next book I read, I also have Libby, so I get a lot of books from there, and I will display whatever book I don't have, I will just display right here. So the next book was King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. I didn't like this book. I didn't really get the plot, honestly. I was really confused by it. One of the like major plot points, like I predicted too, and the writing wasn't good, and honestly I didn't feel the chemistry between the two characters and whatnot, so we're gonna skip that. So the next book I read was Wicked Beauty, which is the third one in the Dark Olympus, I think it's called, yeah, Dark Olympus series, and this follows Helen of Troy as well as Achilles and Patroclus. And so Helen, her brother just became Zeus, and so Helen wants to earn her place at the table of being a part of the 13 gods. And so she is competing in this tournament to become Ares. But then Zeus doesn't tell her, as well as Aphrodite, her sister, doesn't tell her that she will actually have to become the bride of whoever gets to marry Ares. She'll be their bride. Sorry, I suck at explaining things. And so this just follows her in her journey to if she is able to become Ares, as well as Achilles and Patroclus are also competing against her in this competition, as well as a few other people. So the next series I read was the Mindf series by St. Abbey. This is also on Kindle Unlimited, and I will display it right here. I don't know why I'm doing this hand thing. I really enjoyed this book. It's about Lana, who's a serial killer, and she starts to date an FBI agent who's actually trying to solve the murders that she's committing, and she knows who he is, he doesn't know who she is. And so it's a very interesting story. It's very graphic though, so I would suggest if you don't like graphic scenes or anything that you shouldn't read this. So that's all the books I read in August. For manga, I read the Ancient Manga's Bane book. I'll just do a foot through really fast. I guess I like this. I liked the illustrations. I didn't like how promiscuous the guy was, like the main guy who's making her become a mage, I think. I like the magic, that was interesting, but he makes jokes about how sketchy he is, so that's kind of funny. And at least they're like pointing it out in the manga. Otherwise, I don't think I would read that. I don't think I will continue to read it, at least buy it. So, right now, what book am I reading? Oh, right now I'm reading From Blood and Ash. I'm on page 81 of 614, and that's okay. I also have Lily's Promise, which is a Holocaust book about her survivor in Auschwitz, I think, and her journey through the Holocaust. So I will probably read that today. Not today, this month. So everything else is manga. I also have some other books that I'm planning on reading, like Oh, I'm also listening to the Song of Achilles. That's how I know how to pronounce Petroleus, even though I couldn't do it at the first time. I'll just add my Goodreads and then you can see like what else I'm looking at. I just don't like buying books. I just like to rent it from Libby or from Kindle Unlimited if I can, and then if I really enjoy the book, like if I give it 4 to 5 stars, then I will buy the physical. But I just don't see the point in like buying books that I'm not going to read again, if that makes sense. But apparently I don't see that point for manga. Anyway, this is Wolf Children. I have not read this. I'm planning on reading this. I did start this last month. I'm not very far. But that's just a really bad flip through. So I'm going to probably read that. I have Message to Adolf, which is, I've heard this is one of the best mangas out there. We'll just do a little flip through. And it's pretty thick. And then I got this at Half Price Books. It's Alice in the Country of the Joker. I also bought the Abandoned Empress. I really enjoy how it's in color, if you can see kind of. And the first one was okay. I just really like the color and the illustration of the manga, or the manhwa. So, and then I have to read the first one. I have the first one on Apple Books. Is that what Apple Books is called? I have the first one, but then I bought the second one because it was on sale for $9.99 at Half Price Books. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you like this type of book wrap-up / TBR, I'll probably split it next time, but let me know if you have any questions, and bye for now.